present to know these moments. Aham, aham, sat asmi. I am that presence that is aware of the prior moment, of this moment, and the next moment. So even Brahmaji is taking into account here. In other words, the most subtle of the subtle. Brahmaji, etc. You know, we have in India, you guys Indians, Hindus, worship. Who's the wife of Brahmaji? Huh?
Saraswati.
Saraswati, isn't it? Did you worship Saraswati, isn't it? Yeah. Why is she the wife of Saraswati? Why is she the wife of Brahmaji? Why?
Wisdom, knowledge.
Yeah, because in order to create, there has to be some knowledge, and and Brahmaji cannot create without this knowledge. Is that right? Wealth, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Vishnu. Huh?
Lakshmi, Vishnu.
No, who's the wife of Brahmaji? And she's the goddess of what? And she's the goddess of what? Of
Knowledge.
Knowledge, that's correct. Vidya. And then you have Vishnu. Who's his wife?
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi. What is that? Lakshmi.
Wealth.
Wealth, isn't it? So knowledge is necessary for him Brahmaji to create. And then wealth, he has to have the material in order to be able to sustain, okay, power. It's a Shakti, isn't it? The wealth. And then you have another one.
Shiva.
Who's Shiva's wife?
Parvati.
Parvati. What does Parvati do? Uma.
Uma, yeah.
Right.
Uma.
Yeah, right. What is her? What is she?
Shakti.
Yeah, Shakti. But what is she the goddess of? Earth, isn't it? No?
No.
Fire? No?
Strength.
Huh? Death, isn't it?
Strength.
Strength.
Yeah.
Strength.
Yeah, Shakti.
Shakti, yeah.
Shiva Shakti.
Shiva Shakti, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the strength. She is the strength of Shiva, isn't it?
Yes.
She is Shiva's strength. But where did she get her strength from? What is she? What does she represent? Strength only in the tradition? But anyway, so these goddess and goddesses and and gods, they're all nothing but symbols that represent principles upon which the creation takes place, and they're not people are not there in the heavens doing the thing. They're present in everything. In everything. Now look at this. Just take this. Take a bone and break it. Human being bone or human being. It's a broken bone. In it, there's a knowledge necessary for it to weld. And there's a Shakti, the power for it to do it. And there's also that sticking power, which is called Vishnu, to be able to make all the cells come out and do the thing and sustain it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? In a seed of a tomato, in the shell of a tomato, in the meat of the tomato, there's all this the presence of the whole thing. In time, it's constantly there. As a matter of fact, those principles are utilized in order for the microchips to be made. With the computers. Nothing is possible without it. But the self is the basis, adhisthana, the basis of the whole thing. And that self is yourself. And you say, well, how is that possible? Because when I say yourself, I'm not pointing to the body, mind, intellect, equipment, the personality. I'm talking that because of which the personality is. It's called Turiya, the fourth. Is that the word? Turiya means the fourth.
Yeah.
You got, Turiya, look at it. You get the physical body with the senses, the mind with its emotions, the intellect with its knowledge and reasoning power and all that, right? Well, all of these have been. This is 1, 2, 3. The fourth is that because of which the whole thing is. Turiya. That fourth is also present. That Turiya you are the fourth, which is nothing. Actually, there's no such fourth. Ultimately, these guys have no reality. The reality is given by the fourth, which is actually not two. Is this too complicated? Isn't that not something amazing?
Yeah, we have done this before, but not.
Ah. Now, just start looking at yourself like that. Start looking at yourself like that. And with that premise, that paradigm, that shift of cognition, midlife, and let's see what happens. That's Shraddha. This is all, this is all Shastra, this is all scripture. That's Shraddha. That is the teacher. The teaching is bringing the truth of me. And now, do you like that? Is that something nice? Look at the alternative. The alternative is to become identified with this bunch of fecal matter. There is no dignity to that. This temporary, blip. Not even a blip in the entire universe. And that is not fun, really, because the blip goes quick out. And it leaves you hanging, wishing I had an extra day, an extra minute. I wish this would happen. I wish that, panting for experiences. And if you take this, then something happens to you. Something happens to the mind. It gets blessed with this knowledge, and all fear goes away. Avidya disappears. But it has to be, how do you say, accepted. At least in principle. You know what I'm talking about? At least in principle. And then, if there is anything that the person can live for, is to be able to confirm it. And it can only be confirmed, become a seeker of knowledge. And for the sake of not just knowledge, for the sake of moksha, to be free from the shackles of being limited. That's what it is. So I just wanted to focus on that. To have the control of the organs of action is possible only when one mind is pure. When one mind is pure. When it's no longer under the spell of raga dveshas. Thus, there is no. In other words, the Lord Krishna is saying, the mind needs to control the sense organs, the organs of action. But you cannot just hold it back like that. You need to have something that allows you to do that. In other words, this knowledge, this mind that is pure. This is an order presented here as a natural order that is very beautiful. Having the discipline of karma yoga, the mind is pure. Therefore, the body, mind, and senses under one's control, they follow suit. Is it true? Now look at this. Is it true? Now let's just say, for example, that that you realize that a particular bargain is really not a bargain. Before you thought it was a bargain, you really hanker for it. And then you want I want that. We gotta have that. Alright? But then you do a little research. Okay, in this case, the senses want to touch it, they want to have it and all that stuff. And it seems like it's like a brute force going after it. Then you start thinking about it. You start looking at your health, you start looking at whatever factors you're taking into account, your relationship with your husband, with your wife, all this stuff. And then you say, what? It is not worth it. And besides, you look it up on the internet, it's not really such a deal, I could have gotten it cheaper. All of a sudden, your hankering stops. Now, if somebody says, you shouldn't have it, you won't have it. And I say, well, he said I shouldn't have it, I'm going to have it. Oh man, oh man, oh man. You're going to be dreaming about it, you're going to be angered about it, The mind will be always thinking about it. And of course, I don't have it, I could do without it, but inside you're still burning inside. And so you say, oh, I control my sense organs.
No.
I control my organs of action. No. Oh, but you don't have it. I don't have it. Look, I don't have it. Well, yeah. You don't have it there, but you have it in here. Jesus told people, I don't know, I want to relate to a little bit I know about the gospel. That one need not sin with the body if the mind still continues wanting that.
Say it again, please.
Sin is not something you do with the body necessarily. It's something you do with the mind.
Oh, yeah.
Sin meaning what? This hankering for things and beings and situations to support and give you life. When you see through that, you don't have to just refrain from doing that. Naturally, yes. I think I mentioned once I was in Mexico City. And my friends where I went to, they're all Catholics. And then this singer, she's also a movie actress, came. What's her name? She did a lot of sensuous things, and the way, the videos and music videos and all that. I mean, she was like having orgasms on the television and all that stuff, So people went for that, okay, like that. And of course, in Mexico, they, forbade it, the church. And then somebody asked me, what do you think? The church forbade to see, what's it, Madonna. It was Madonna.
Oh, Madonna,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
The singer.
Madonna, singer and all that. She was really forbidden for people to go see her. And if they went to see her, they would be condemned, this and that, and really bad, big sin to go there. And then I said, you know what? Really speaking, if those samskaras were not in your mind, nobody would have to forbid it. It could be right there. It would never occur to you to do it, to go there. So this control that the church had in this particular people was because everything that people do is based on what somebody tells them. The fear and this and that. If I don't do it, if I don't go to church, I don't go to temple, or if I go in a particular way, I'm not good. So I restrain myself not because of the principle behind it, because I don't know principles. I do it because of what?
Fear.
Of the
Fear.
conditioning. That's correct. So if the person somehow is able to discern and contemplate about the truth of myself and the truth of what it is, then raga-dvesha doesn't have power over you. I mean, something is tasty, something is pleasurable. Well, of course, you're not a fool. As a matter of fact, the fool, doesn't know about it, so he abstains from it. Hey, look, I abstain. Well, you don't abstain. You don't know what the heck that is. You knew it, but you don't have no iota what it is. Let's say a guy, out there in Timbuktu, he says, hey, I'm a free man, why? I don't have an iPhone. The guy doesn't even know what the heck it is, he doesn't understand it. Now, the guy that knows about it, that has touched it, that has made the thing go, and says, thank you, but no thank you. I'll wait 2 years more. Now, that person knows. That person is vairagi. And not vairagi because, I won't have it. Why? Because I shouldn't have it. This and that. No. Because of conviction. Conviction. Personal, intimate conviction. So the senses, raga-dvesha, doesn't command. You command. And why? Because now your mind become purified, and now you can actually contemplate upon the truth. And then now you have a higher value, and those things, even though they're still understanding that they do have some kind of pleasure in them, that's it. You're free from that. You might be still hung up on something else, but that you're free of. Now, but he who understands the nature of the universe, the nature of oneself,